Yo, it's your boy Bernard, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye within the past week. I'm redoing this again because for some reason my computer decided to act stupid. So, let's talk about the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie, which happens to be this year. Disney announced that we are getting a Goofy movie documentary titled Not Just a Goof, coming to Disney Plus on April 7th. So apparently there's been a Not Just a Goof Twitter page since possibly, let me see if I can see the date, December 2020. So it looks like they've been working on this documentary for a long time. I plan on checking it out, but I honestly feel like it's not going to top the episode of Atlanta in the final season that's called A Goof That's Who Sat by the Door. I highly recommend you checking out that episode. It's not meant to be taken seriously in any way, shape, or form, but the way that mockumentary is shot, you would think it was a real documentary, like from like a black guy being in charge of Disney in the 90s. He wanted to incorporate hip hop into things, and bringing in Tevin Campbell to be the voice of Powerline, having Max be like, the nerd skateboarder who was, an avatar for black kids in the 90s. But yeah, watch that episode of Atlanta. It's like out of the last season, that is my favorite episode. Like, I have at least one favorite episode for every season of Atlanta, but season 4 really is my only favorite episode of that season. I have favorite moments from season 4, but that episode was top to bottom a 10. Well, in this case a 5, because I'm doing whatever, you know what I meant. So yeah, check out that episode and get ready to check out that documentary.
We didn't have a lot of black students in the program then. Thomas showed a lot of promise. In his application, he wrote about how he wanted to work at Disney one day. We usually laugh at that sort of thing. Everybody says that, But with his application, he sent a little flip book. Can you see this? I mean, he had the sensibility and the wit of a true Disney animator. Art Babbitt was a big name in Disney animation for a time. As an animator in the 30s and 40s, he racked up a lot of credits and enemies. But he was most well known for developing the character of Goofy. He came to SCAD and he spoke.
Now, Goofy, he was a dope. He was someone who wasn't aware how slow-witted he really was, and he thought long and hard before he did anything, and then he did it wrong.
Thomas really gravitated to him. He became obsessed, and he really glommed on to Babbitt's article, Analysis of the Goof. Art describes Goofy. He says, think of the goof as a composite of an everlasting optimist, a gullible good Samaritan, a half-wit, a shiftless, good-natured colored boy, and a hick. He is loose-jointed and gangly, but not rubbery. He can move fast if he has to, but would rather avoid overexertion. So he takes what seems the easiest way. He is a philosopher of the barbershop variety. No matter what happens, he accepts it finally as being for the best or at least amusing. Thomas used this text as the center of a piece of a series he called Goofy Please. After class one day, he showed me some of these pieces, and I looked at it, and I looked at him, and I thought, this kid is from another universe, like a whole nother planet.
Thomas would be like, hey, come on, Goofy's we would just laugh, man. We just thought that was so funny.
It was clear that Thomas was very talented. For his thesis, he made this incredible short film.
Well, I'd like to visit the moon on a rocket ship high in the air.
He had little screenings. Teachers would come and students. The film felt so deep. I think it was somehow connected to him losing his father in freshman year.
Uncle Ronnie died changed him, man. Thomas was in his freshman year at SCAD, and I didn't think he was gonna make it, but once we buried my Uncle Ronnie, man, it's like his brain exploded.
Depending on who saw it and when they saw it, it was either the funniest thing or the saddest thing you'd ever seen. That short was what got him into Disney. No question.
When it comes out. All right, what is my next story? So, like I said, I'm trying to get into more comic book news on this podcast. I've been doing the previews as they've come out, but this was announced ahead of June previews. So Marvel is doing a Marvel Knights comic, which is titled Marvel Knights: The World to Come. In the book, we'll see writer Christopher Priest and artist Joe Quesada return to Black Panther in the Marvel Knights imprint with colors by Richard Izanoff. So I saw this and I was like, yo, didn't Quesada leave Marvel? But hey, I guess he's just coming back to do this miniseries. And honestly, that's all he should do, because Marvel Comics under Joe Quesada's leadership, a lot of people didn't like. He is partially responsible for the disillusion of Peter Parker and Mary Jane's marriage in the controversial One More Day storyline, to the point where we don't even know like who actually wrote the end of that, because the internet says J. Michael Straczynski left like in the middle of possibly like the last 2 issues, because it was only a 4-issue run that takes place between Amazing Spider-Man and I feel like it was Sensational Spider-Man. I don't remember, but yeah, apparently he went to go start his own comic imprint at Amazon, and it ain't working so well because I ain't heard nothing about no damn Amazon comics. Anyway, June for that. Next story. So this one like took me aback because I was like, okay, how? So Village Roadshow is an Australian entertainment company, but they mainly do a lot of production in film. Village Roadshow Pictures is the American aspect of that. So Village Roadshow is good because they basically have like the rights to Savage Garden's Masters. But Village Roadshow Pictures is a production company that works in film, specifically like stuff in like Australia, New Zealand, Singapore. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and this is a surprise because they have movies coming out, and they are responsible for movies that we all know and love. So I'm going to start at the 80s and just name a few of them. I'm sorry. Let me start at the 80s because I believe Mad Max was on here, but possibly not. Okay, so there's not that much stuff from the 80s. Oh, there's only one movie called The Delinquents, which I've never heard of. So let's start with the 90s then. The Phantom. It starred Billy Zane as the comic book character with the same name. Disturbing Behavior with Katie Holmes, Nick Stahl, and James Marsden. Practical Magic with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, and I do believe they just announced that there is a sequel in the works for Practical Magic, which is very weird because that movie came out in what, 96? I'm sorry, 98. Never saw it, but I keep meaning to watch it. The Matrix, Analyze This, A Walk on the Moon, Deep Blue Sea, Three Kings. All right, now we're into the 2000s. Movie I saw for some odd reason, Space Cowboys. That's one with Clint Eastwood, Tommy Lee Jones, Donald Sutherland, and James Garner, where they play Old astronauts who go to space to repair a old Soviet satellite. Saving Silverman. Saving Silverman. Very funny movie. I don't think that could be made nowadays. It possibly could because it wasn't rapey per se. Jason Biggs, Steve Zahn, Jack Black, and Amanda Peet. I wonder whatever happened to Amanda Peet. Down to Earth with Chris Rock. Exit Wounds, DMX and Steven Seagal. Swordfish, Halle Berry. Hugh Jackman and John Travolta. Zoolander, Training Day, Ocean's 11. The Majestic, Showtime with Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro, Eight-Legged Freaks, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, also starring Eddie Murphy. Who else was in that? Randy Quaid, Rosario Dawson, Joe Pantoliano. Analyze That, Ghost Ship, Dreamcatcher, which was a very weird movie, but then again, it is based off of a Stephen King novel. Did I say the first Matrix? Because I believe I did. I'm not entirely sure if I did. Matrix Reloaded, and obviously Matrix Revolutions. Why was I having a brain fart on saying that? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, House of Wax, Miss Congeniality 2, Catwoman, Torque, which was basically trying to be Fast and the Furious with motorcycles before Biker Boys. Rumor has it with was that Katie? No, Jennifer Aniston and Kevin Costner. Mark Ruffalo was in that. Okay. Happy Feet, Music and Lyrics, Ocean's 13. What the hell is The Invasion? Never saw it. Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig apparently. I Am Legend, Speed Racer, Get Smart, Gran Torino, Get Off My Lawn. Yes Man, Where the Wild Things Are, very good movie. I'm probably gonna rewatch that soon. Sherlock Holmes, now we're into the 2010s. Cats and Dogs 2, The Revenge of Kitty Galore, Sex in the City 2, Happy Feet 2, Sherlock Holmes 2, Dark Shadows, Gangster Squad. I don't think anybody saw Gangster Squad. The Great Gatsby, The Lego Movie, Edge of Tomorrow, The Equalizer, The Judge is one of my underrated Robert Downey Jr. movies. So we're in the 2010s. American Sniper, Mad Max, almost said Max Steel, San Andreas, Goosebumps, Concussion, The Legend of Tarzan, Sully, The Magnificent Seven, Passengers, Fist Fight with Charlie Day and Ice Cube, Bleeding Steel, which was a Jackie Chan movie that had a limited release in America, Ready Player One, Ocean's 8, Joker, and now we're in the 2020s, The Matrix Resurrections, something called Cinnamon that's on Tubi. Apparently Pam Grier and Damon Wayans are in this. Wonka, something that came out last year called The Gutter. What in the hell is this? But upcoming movies: Ready Player 2, San Andreas 2, Sherlock Holmes 3, Training Day, Day of the Riot. So I want to know what that's about because it doesn't have a Wikipedia page. I Am Legend 2, and something called Eternal Return. And as far as TV shows, they did the Flipper TV series. I didn't forget that was a thing. I'm lying right now. Nightman, which I just started rewatching on Prime Video. Something called Dumb Bunnies, Tales of the South Seas, and yeah, so Village Roadshow Pictures, I guess it's not working out as well as for them. I mean, but they did Wonka, and that movie made like almost $1 billion, didn't it? It made just $500,000 with a budget of 125. So it made $632 million. Oh, that does it. That could be why The Gutter was in The Gutter. That movie had a budget of $17 million and only made $17,750. God damn. So yeah, they're filing for chapter 11. It is possible that the upcoming movies can still be done without the production of Village Roadshow, but who knows? So yeah, that sucks. Yeah, are we even going to get a San Andreas 2? Because I mean, The Rock announced that like maybe like 6-7 years ago. And how long ago did the first one come out? I feel like that came out like 2014, 2015. Yeah, 2015. So let's get to it. Anyway, next story is simply this. Colin Farrell, who we know for playing the Penguin and the Batman, who is a part of the DC Elseworlds universe, is things outside of the main continuity. It's possibly going to be double dipping in the DCU overall. So I told you guys about maybe 3-4 weeks ago that Daniel Craig had you back out of the Luca Guadagnino Sergeant Rock movie. Well, it is rumored that Colin Farrell will be stepping into that role. There's nothing confirmed just yet, but he does apparently have a time window in between his Apple TV series Sugar and the movie that he is shooting called The Ballad of a Small Player. So, a little bit of backstory on Sergeant Rock. His name is Sergeant Franklin Rock, who is a World War II veteran. The character first debuted in 1959 in DC's comics issue of Our Army at War. Sergeant Rock first received his own comic book series in 1977 and ran until 1988. So Sergeant Rock's talents include shooting down German fighter planes with a single submachine gun and tossing grenades with great accuracy. When he's without a gun, he's a great street fighter and can survive gunshots. He's a calm guy with heart, but also has a combat antenna able to detect an oncoming energy surge. So I don't think I've ever read anything with. Nope, that's a lie, because they gave Sergeant Rock a was it a New 52 book? I think it was called Sergeant Rock and the Easy Company. Am I getting that right? Where's collected editions? Doesn't say. But I feel like I read a Sergeant Rock comic during the New 52. But he did appear in the Creature Commandos episode that was centered around what's the name of the robot? What is the name of the robot? I am drawing a blank on the robot's name. GI Robot. Good grief. Yeah, I'm looking on Wikipedia to see if yeah, they don't have him any color. I really feel like I read something with Sergeant Rock in it. I don't know. I'm not gonna harp on that. So let's go ahead and get to the next story. So the God of War Amazon Prime Video series, forgot that was a thing, has been greenlit for 2 seasons. The showrunner, who is Robert D. Moore, said he couldn't figure out how to play the game. He said, and I quote, "I am not a gamer." And I get that. God of War isn't necessarily for everybody. Like, I'm not a fan of the overhaul redesign of the God of War franchise, since, it's PS2 and PS3A. So, I have both the modern God of War games. I still have not beat Ragnarok. I'm just not a fan of that. It's not necessarily a third person camera. It really feels more like a second, because you're more over the shoulder as opposed to being further out where you can see the character's entire body, as well as more of the peripheral landscape. So yeah, I'm going to eventually go back and beat Ragnarok. Like, I just beat Ratchet and Clank, like, I want to say like mid-November, December. Rift Apart, not one of the older ones. So I would like to know who the hell is going to be playing Kratos and And what timeline are we going to go with? Are we just going to assume that everyone played 2014's God of War and we just put him in the world with Kratos and the cherries? Dealing with the burial of his wife? Or are we going to go back to Gen 1 God of War, where Kratos is a Spartan soldier and, he's getting revenge on the gods for killing his first family? So, we will find out now, won't we? All right, I'm going to do one more story, then I'm going to go to break. So let's go ahead and get into this one. So Power Rangers. I told you guys, maybe last year, I named the whole episode Rest in Peace Power Rangers. Because it looked like Hasbro didn't want to do anything else with the series. Like they ended it with Cosmic Fury. They stopped the toy line, so now the toy line is coming back very crappily with Playmates figures. But it looks like we might also be getting more live action Power Rangers from Disney Plus. So Jonathan Goldstein and Dan Schatz, who are the showrunners on Percy Jackson and the Olympians, are in talks to write, showrun, and produce a live action series for Disney Plus and 20th Century TV. So this came out from the Wrap. So they said that Hasbro will produce the series and will reinvent the franchise for a whole new generation of fans while delighting those who already know and love the world of Power Rangers. So, as you guys know, Power Ranger fan, we already talked about how much I spent at Ranger Stop twice. Got the tattoo literally possibly, did I get it the week after JDF passed? Or did I get it after I went to my first Ranger Stop? Which coincidentally also happened to, never mind. That was, I think, 2 weeks before Jason David Frank's passing. So, yeah, we don't really know anymore besides that. As you all possibly know, Power Rangers, every season of Power Rangers, with the exception of Cosmic Fury, has been adapted from some type of Sentai, Super Sentai series, to the point where, the fight scenes were all Sentai footage that were just dubbed over. So if you go back and look on Wikipedia, the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was based off of Kyoryu Sentai Zoo Ranger, and so on and so forth. Like Turbo is based off of Car Ranger. I don't know what Zeo is based off of, but there's a lot of Sentai out there. Like Sentai pretty much dates back to the 70s with Go Ranger, from that one aired from 1975 to 77. So yeah, there's a lot of Sentai out there. I'm just trying to think of which one was Die Ranger. That was basically the second season of Mighty Morphin. They didn't use the costumes, they just used the Zords on that one. Kaku Ranger, I believe, is the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers. Yes, I was right on that one. O Ranger is, I believe, Zeo. Yep. Like I said, Car Rangers Turbo. Mega Ranger is Power Rangers in Space. So on and so forth. You can actually order these original Sentai DVDs on the Shout Factory. It's not a plug, I'm just telling you where you can get them. Anyway, I'm going to take a break. Listen to the ad for Dubby. I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to dubby.gg and use my promo code angryblerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's dubby.gg with promo code angryblerd10. All right, guys, I am back. So let's talk about Everything Looney Tunes related, honestly. I had to separate it in my notes, but let's just go ahead and get to it. So it is possible that the Coyote versus Acme movie could be released because Ketchup Media, who is the company that, Ketchup Entertainment is the company that brought The Day the Earth Blew Up Looney Tunes movie out of the dark recesses of Warner Brothers, because David Zaslav said, fuck Looney Tunes. They might actually buy this one as well. And I really don't know how this will work, but I hope that Warner Brothers gets none of the profits for this, because The Day the Earth Blew Up came out last week. It's actually in theaters now, so if you want this to possibly come out in theaters, I highly suggest you go to the movie theater and check it out. It had a budget of $15 million. The box office is currently half of that. It's at 7.4. So we actually need to support this if we want, Coyote versus Acme to come out, which I actually do plan on. I'm going to see The Day the Earth Blew Up on Tuesday. So yeah, they're negotiating with Warner Brothers to buy the Coyote versus Acme movie. So yeah, fuck David Zaslav, fuck Warner Discovery for shelving this, because like everybody was excited about this the same way a majority of the internet was excited about the Batgirl movie. It's like you could have released it on Max. So I'm like, it wasn't watchable. How do you know it wasn't watchable? It wasn't even done. They were in post-production when it was in development. Well, anyway, so it's just like, shut up. Honestly, I'm over the rigmarole of, corporate speak and whatnot. Oh, it wasn't watchable. Anyway, also on that same note, David Zaslav said, fuck your childhood, because Max has pulled all classic Looney Tunes from its website or platform, whatever. So Deadline reported that the removal, which impacted almost 40 years worth of animated short from the 30s all the way up to the 60s, is part of an ongoing reprioritization on Max to focus on adult and family content. While like some of the stuff from the 90s is still there, such as the Sylvester and Tweety's Mysteries, as well as the new Looney Tunes and Tiny Toons University, the franchise's classic legacy of short form animation has been scrubbed entirely, even after Warner Brothers previously clarified not to remove the original shorts from Max in late 2023. So this is not the first time Warner has decided to say, you know what, screw the animation. They got rid of Boomerang, the Cartoon Network website, which redirects you to Max. And like we saw what they did with The Day the Earth Blew Up, because that was supposed to come out on Max. That got scrapped. Coyote versus Acme was supposed to come out in theaters, and they got scrapped. So it's just like, I don't get what they want from people. Like, I don't know, like, because they don't tell us how many people are watching these things, because they don't necessarily have to. It's one of the things with streaming. I was actually talking to somebody about this online, because they were talking about not Lori Loughlin, Lauren Graham from she played the mom on Gilmore Girls. I feel like it was Lauren Graham. Let me double check this. Yes, Lauren Graham. Yeah, she was talking about how she doesn't get residuals from Gilmore Girls being on Netflix. I'm like, why would you? Because they don't have to show how many people are watching the show. I got a friend who watches Gilmore Girls every single year. And I told her she needs to find something else to watch, because at the end of the day, all she's doing is feeding her nostalgia. She's not putting any money in Lauren Graham's pockets. And I've been one to be very anti-streaming. I'm always physical media forever. But at the end of the day, it sucks, because a lot of actors basically use their use the rerun money to supplement their income and to stay in the SAG, to have their unions and everything. Like, perfect example, Mayim Bialik, who played Blossom, or Dr. Amy Farrah following The Big Bang Theory. She talked about how Blossom stopped rerunning after she wasn't a part of SAG. After Blossom started rerunning, she couldn't stay in SAG because she wasn't acting. She actually left Hollywood for the longest to become a microbiologist, but she was using her residual money from Blossom to pay her SAG dues, keep the insurance and whatnot. So basically, when that dried up, she stopped being a microbiologist and went back to TV. Hence the reason why she was on The Big Bang Theory in the first place, because I guess they got good insurance. So I don't know how much actors get for percentages as far as buying physical media goes, but I hope it helps them, because I did buy the complete Big Bang Theory box set. I will unblur my background for 1 second so you guys could possibly see it. It is right there behind that plate of it's a plate that my dad got made when I was a baby. So yeah. What is my next story? So I got an update on season 4 of Invincible. So the official Instagram for the Invincible TV series, I don't know if it covers everything Invincible related, made a post on Thursday saying that no new episode today, about how about and everything we know about season 4 so far post. They said that Invincible will return for season 4, should be sometime in 2026. Voice acting is complete. There may be a new storyline not in the comic featuring Dark Blood. Thrag has been cast, and just to make a joke, Invincible has also been cast. So I brought this up when I did the review of the season 3 finale, the second mid-credit scene with Damien Darkblood saying that, you know, he's got someone for his master to possess. That is not a story that was in the comic. I think I even said this last week. That was a original story that Robert Kirkman had planned, and he scrapped it. So I know nothing about what's going to happen with that. I want to know who's going to voice Thrag. I would say it'll have to be somebody who can kind of give like a real gravitas. Honestly, because Thrag is one of those dudes. Like Thrag gives me a George Clooney hybrid type vibe. Cause he's got like the Caesar like George Michael, but he looks like George Clooney, but he looks like George Michael on ER a little bit with a very thick mustache. I'm just trying to like, I really honestly can't think of who would provide the voice of Thrag, and I really can't think of anyone who would do it. But Thrag actually, I'm trying to, what was the first appearance he showed up? Well, they actually show him in a flashback in Invincible issue 11. Well, was it a flashback? I feel like it might have been a flashback. So yeah, I really can't think of who I would want to vote to voice Thrag. Whew. I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of anybody. Knowing Robert Kirkman, he's probably going to get somebody from The Walking Dead to do it, because he likes working with all those people. Like a majority of the Guardians of the Globe were voiced by Walking Dead cast members. I believe even Darkwing was voiced by Chad Coleman. As we know, Conquest was voiced by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Let me actually see if I can find a Walking Dead Invincible crossover, which actually happened in the comics in The Walking Dead, but it was a fever dream that Rick was having. All right, so here we go. Steve Yeun obviously played Glenn. So this is actually talking about season 1 of Invincible. Lauren Cohen, who played Maggie. She was War Woman. Lenny James was Darkwing. He played Morgan on The Walking Dead. Ross McQuad plays Aaron on The Walking Dead. He's obviously the Immortal. He's also Red Skull, by the way. Michael Cuditz, who played Abraham on The Walking Dead, was Red Rush. Chad Coleman was the Martian Man. That's who he was. Sonequa Martin Green played Sasha on The Walking Dead. She was Green Ghost. Carrie Payton played Ezekiel on Invincible. He's Black Samson. I mean, he played Ezekiel in The Walking Dead. He's Black Samson on Invincible. And obviously, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, like I said, is Conquest. I'm just trying to figure. Please don't make it Andrew Lincoln now that I think about it. I was gonna say Bryan Cranston, but he's like, no, I don't want to do any voice work. Oh shit! Yeah, I got nothing. I hate fan casting. Here I go trying to do it my damn self. So, a video game that I did not play. I don't really have any intention of playing it because this is a 2-person co-op game, which I love the fact that they're doing. This is a couch co-op game. Split Fiction came out about 2-3 weeks ago. They're already in a bidding war for the rights for the game. This game, film rights for the game. So the game came out March 6th. So apparently sources at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco have confirmed that Story Kitchen is putting together the film cast, writers, and directors into a package as offers for the rights to keep coming in from multiple top Hollywood studios. Honestly, well, it's not a Sony exclusive game. I was going to say, I thought it was for some reason, but it's on Steam and Xbox and everywhere. I'm trying to think, because whoever buys the rights to this game can also do It Takes Two. So I'm going to give you guys a quick breakdown on the synopsis of Split Fiction. So like I said, this is a co-op multiplayer, which you can actually play this online. So yeah, you can only play it with a person. You can't play it on your own. So players can assume the control of either Zoe or Mio, who are 2 authors who become trapped inside their own stories. They must work together to escape and overcome numerous challenges along the way. Mio is a science fiction writer, while Zoe does fantasy. So it's an action adventure game played in the 3rd-person perspective. So you got to do platform challenges, obviously combat against hostile enemies. And a lot of people gave the director Joseph Fares crap because he wrote the game based off of his children. But I'm glad that the game is getting universal acclaim. Metacritic gave it a 91 out of 100 on PS5. Windows got a 92 out of 100. Xbox 92 out of 100. OpenCritic gave it a 97. Destructoid 9.5 out of 10. Eurogamer 5 out of 5. GameSpot 10 out of 10. Games Radar 4.5 out of 5. IGN 9 out of 10. PC Gamer US 87 out of 100. Push Square 10 out of 10. Shack News 9 out of 10. Tech Radar 5 out of 5. Video Games Chronicle 4 out of 5. And VG 24/7 5 out of 5. So yeah, I honestly, I'm not doing fan casting, so I don't know what to tell you. My last story before I get into the reviews. So for those of you who are fans of Solar Opposites on Hulu, I unfortunately have some bad news for you. Solar Opposites will end with season 6. So they actually said that on Instagram that they will begin their final mission. They didn't give any description on the plot, but they said when the solar opposite family goes broke, they must learn to survive on Earth without any of their sci-fi devices or the massive amounts of video games, snacks, and luxury watches that they're used to. Honestly, I have not watched Solar Opposites, and I probably never will. But I know lots of people who loved it. I know that Justin Roiland, who was the creator of the show and co-creator of Rick and Morty, he was removed from his position after season 3. So, I don't know. So that sucks. But it is time to hit the spoiler alert. And I am going to talk about Daredevil, Born Again, Season 1, Episode 4, 6 Semper Systema, directed by Jerry Nachmanoff, written by David Feige and Jessica Wigtow. So, this episode picks up after Hector's assassination with Mark. Who the hell is Mark? With Matt going to the morgue and collecting Hector's belongings, i.e. his white tiger suit, possibly his ID, and his magical amulet. Angela shows up and says that, she wants to bring the killers to cops. Brings the killers to justice. Matt goes to the crime scene where he finds a shell casing with the Punisher symbol on it. He confronts Frank and he learns that, Frank didn't have anything to do with it. Also, Matt confronts Officer Powell, who he, gave the black eye to and confronted in episode 3. Matt obviously reads his heartbeat, confirms that he's telling the truth. He had nothing to do with Hector's murder. Meanwhile, back with Frank and Matt, they go at it about, vigilante justice and whatnot. Frank gives Matt a hard time for not killing Bullseye and abandoning his role as Daredevil, because he's like, Foggy would have wanted you to kill him for killing him. Meanwhile, Wilson and Vanessa are still in marriage counseling, talking about Vanessa's affair with Adam, while Wilson was gone. Heather, who is Matt's girlfriend and Wilson and Vanessa's therapist, asks if Vanessa feels safe with Wilson, and she says yes. Daniel Blake, who is one of Wilson's aides, fucks up, gets drunk and high on ketamine, and tells BB about Wilson's plans about overlooking the unions to revitalize the pier. Wilson snaps, but doesn't do anything to actually cause Blake any harm. This episode really hit the aspect of being born again on the head, because after Matt's confrontation with Frank, he resumes his training with his Billy Club as Daredevil. Meanwhile, Wilson goes down to the basement of his house, and we find out that he has Adam locked up as his prisoner while he enjoys a nice gluttonous meal of sausages and pasta while he's supposed to be eating healthy. So yes, they are basically being born again into the roles that they decided to cast aside. So let me give my thoughts on this episode. I honestly love this episode. So I like seeing Matt use his powers the way they do it, like how they zoom in and kind of focus on his ear and everything. It's very reminiscent to Smallville whenever Clark would use his powers. The only difference is they're not doing an x-ray into his ear and you see his eardrum fluctuate. But I liked the confrontation with Frank. I liked I don't know if BB is feeling Daniel or if she's just using him for information, honestly. But Daniel needs to get his crap together before he ends up sleeping with the fishes. We also got to see the rabbit in a snowstorm painting that Wilson was obsessed with, because when I was a boy, he was forced to look at a white wall, and that's what that painting reminded him of. So we got some blood on it. I don't know if that's the blood from season 3 of Daredevil, with the whole fight between Dex and Wilson and Matt in the finale, or if that's what he's been punching, because I don't know if he's been punching Adam, because if you look at the episodes so far, every episode Wilson's knuckles are bruised. So I don't know what the hell's going on, because I don't know if that's an actual painting or if it's like a piece of slab that was canvassed or what. But yeah, man, Matt's getting ready to suit back up. Yeah, boy. All right. So we're going to talk about Novocaine right now. And apparently there was also a movie called Novocaine in 2001. But we're talking about the 2025 version. That is directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson. That stars Jack Quaid, Amber Midthunder, Ray Nicholson, Betty Gabriel, Matt Walsh, and Jacob Batalon. So the movie centers around Nathan Kane, who is a mild-mannered introvert who has a congenital insensitivity to pain, which is called Semper. He works as an assistant manager at a credit union in San Francisco. He has a crush on his coworker Sherry, and it appears that Sherry is also interested in him, but he doesn't want to get close to her due to his issue. But they do eventually end up going out to a bar, and they end up hooking up. And then the next day, the credit union that they work at is robbed. They take Sherry as a hostage. Nate hops in a police car to track them down. He ends up killing one of the hostages, and he notices Ben's tattoo and asks his only friend Roscoe to help track down the artist who did it. But you also find out that Sherry knows the robbers. Well, she knows one of the robbers, who is her brother, after she tells Ben that she went from foster home to foster home, which is a possibility that it could be a foster brother. Don't know. Anyway, Ben tracks down the guy who did the tattoo, gets the address of the guy he killed, Ben, who's actually another one of the robbers' brothers. And so his brother goes to Ben's house, which Ben has decided to fill with booby traps. But since Nate can't feel anything, he's getting arrows in the leg. He got hit with a I don't remember what the hell those damn things are called. It was basically like one of those balls with the spikes on it, a mace, I guess you can call it, in the back. And Ben's brother actually shows up, and Roscoe shows up as well, and Ben's brother gets killed. Meanwhile, the cops track him down. Roscoe creates a diversion, and he goes to the place where Ben works, and also finds out that I can't remember his name. Sherry's brother is her brother, and almost dies. And the cops show up. Sherry's brother kills one of the cops, injures the other one. They eventually, he gets away with Sherry, and Nate goes after him. I'm sorry, he gets away in an ambulance, which Nate is in, because they're getting ready to take him to the hospital. Sherry and Officer Langston with Roscoe chase the ambulance, and Nate and what is his fucking name? Nathan. Simon. Yeah, they have a fight. Sherry jumps in, and Nate eventually kills Simon. So Nate ends up going to the hospital, ends up in a full body cast because he was fucked up from head to toe. And A year later, Nate goes and visits Sherry in prison, and they basically redo their first date of where she introduced him to cherry pie, which he never ate because he was always afraid that he could bite off his tongue. All right, so let's get into it. So for starters, I know it's a movie, but sometimes you have to add real world aspects into movies. This is an HR violation right off the bat. He is her superior. He shouldn't be dating her. And I'm not one to talk because I, once upon a time, had a type of situation with my coworker. Cue the sound effects. And but yeah, lesson learned from that. That was really my only issue with the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I highly recommend a lot more people go see this movie because Jack Quaid does have leading man energy, and you know we really need to make him a thing because fuck his daddy. The movie had a budget of 18 million. I need y'all to go see this movie, okay? The box office is at 15.4 right now. Please go see this movie, okay? Because Jack Quaid is out here doing the damn thing. Like Companion was also Companion made a budget, but you know, it's not like it, you know, it blew up. But please go see Novocaine, okay? I highly recommend it. This movie gets a 5 out of 5 from me, okay? Like I said, my only issue was him dating his coworker. Anyway, guys, that was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. I'm your host, Bernard. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg. Use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout and save 10% on your order. And I knew the lady who played Langston in Novocaine looked familiar. She was in Get Out. She was the maid, aka Grandma. So yeah, guys, I'll see y'all next week. Peace.